Welcome to the app, Calculating the Area of a Circle with a Rectangle. As we might understand from the name, the app demonstrates why the formula for the area of a circle works. And it does so by slicing the circle in such a way that the pieces fit very well into a rectangle. The smaller the pieces we cut the circle into, the better they will fit into the rectangle. The previous knowledge the students should know for this lesson is the formula for the circumference of a circle. This app is a little like a presentation. Most of the time, we'll just simply click on this next button and ask the students what they see. Let's start. So at this stage, it's simple. The circle is divided into 4 sections, 2 red and 2 blue. We'll click again. And now we have to describe this odd shape at the bottom. Well, the first thing the students may notice is that we have the 2 blue sections from the circle over here. Then we see that one of the red sections is in the middle, while the other one is cut in 2. This means the area of this odd shape on the bottom is exactly the same as the area of this circle. So let's call this area S. Next, we want to draw the students' attention to this length. Now, what we hope they see is that this length is the distance between the center of the circle and its circumference. In other words, its radius. The next thing we want to notice is the length of the following path, from this point around over here and continuing all the way to here. Again, we hope the students notice that this path is the same as the length of the path that goes from here all the way to the other side of the circle. In other words, half the circumference. So if the students know that the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, well, then half of this is pi r. And what about the length of this path? Well, this, of course, is also pi r, half the circumference. Now, in class, we might want to erase all the scribbles before continuing, just so the students will be able to rediscover them each time. But here, we'll go ahead and leave them as they are. Let's continue. And again, at each stage, we'd like the students to describe what happened. So the circle is now divided into 6. And we click Next. And we see the same sections organized differently at the bottom. Again, we make sure with the students that the area of the shape at the bottom is the same as the area of the circle, that this length is indeed still the radius, and that the length of this path is half the perimeter, pi r, as well as the path on top. And we continue. Circle is divided now into 8, and we continue again. And what we get here at the bottom is what we might expect by now. Let's click 2 more times. Now, we can ask what sort of shape is forming as this process continues. The answer is, of course, that this shape is looking more and more like a rectangle. The shape's area is always the same as the circle. This length is always the radius, and the path at the bottom and the top is half the perimeter, or pi r. To see more clearly the process of this shape looking more and more like a rectangle, we can click Unicolor. So here, instead of the sections being colored red and blue in the circle and the shape, all the sections are now purple. And we can continue. The shape is turning more and more into a rectangle. Now, at a certain stage, a new button appears. It's the button called Finish. We can understand that if we continue this process until we have infinitely small sections, that we'll actually get a rectangle. We click Finish to see this rectangle. So we have the rectangle. The app also shows us this R. We can now erase our scribbles. And we see in this circle, besides the radius, half the circumference is emphasized. Let's click Continue. And an animation shows us what we already know, that the width of this rectangle is half the circumference of the circle. This is pi r. But what is pi r? Pi is a little more than 3. So a little more than 3 of these radiuses fit in this length. And we'll see this nicely when we click Continue. And here we see it. A little more than 3 radiuses fit in this length. Let's click Continue again. And we see that this length is pi r. So now we have a rectangle where its height and width are given. All that's left to do is to multiply these, so let's click Continue. And here we have this calculation. Pi r times r gives this pi r squared. And this indeed is the formula for the area of a circle. We hope you find the use of this app enjoyable and effective in class. Thanks for watching.